What if I told you that Lewis Hamilton just delivered a lap time in Baku that was faster than last year's pole position in a car he's been calling alien for months? What if Charles Leclerc, the undisputed king of Baku qualifying with 4 consecutive poles, suddenly found himself beaten by his new teammate on his strongest ground? And what if Ferrari, after weeks of struggling to find consistency, just announced themselves as genuine contenders with a devastating 1-2 in Friday practice that left the entire paddock speechless? Because that's exactly what happened at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and the shockwaves are still being felt throughout Formula One. Coming into Baku, Ferrari looked like a team still nursing wounds from Monza. The SF25 had been flashing potential in short bursts, but never finding the consistency to turn that into something tangible. Hamilton himself had admitted that the car still felt alien to him, a machine that forced him to abandon the natural flow and precision that defined his championship years. FP1 seemed to confirm everyone's worst fears. Hamilton was sliding wide in the third sector, clipping escape roads, and even brushing the wall. Leclerc complained of understeer through the tight 90-degree corners. Ferrari's data showed them losing time in sectors 1 and 2, while McLaren looked more comfortable. By the time the red flag came out to fix a loose curb, Ferrari were staring at another weekend of damage limitation. The struggles were glaring. Hamilton looked uncomfortable, the car refusing to stick to the tarmac. For a driver who came to Ferrari to chase immortality with an 8th world championship, it was becoming increasingly clear that the marriage between man and machine wasn't working. But then something extraordinary happened in FP2 that nobody, not even Ferrari insiders, saw coming. With the sun dipping lower and the track rubbering in, conditions began mirroring those of qualifying and the race. Ferrari finally showed their hand, and it was devastating. Hamilton unleashed a lap of 1 minute 21.293 seconds, faster than last year's pole position and good enough to top the timesheets. Right behind him came Leclerc with a 141.367, only 0.074 seconds slower, delivering a Ferrari 1-2 that very few had seen coming. It wasn't just the times that stunned the paddock, but the way they were delivered. Hamilton, running a higher downforce rear wing that sacrificed straight-line speed for braking stability, threaded the Ferrari through the unforgiving middle sector like a man possessed. Every lap looked more confident, more natural, more in rhythm than anything he'd shown since moving to Maranello. For the first time since joining Ferrari, Hamilton looked like Hamilton again, attacking corners with confidence, carrying speed with fluidity, and putting together a lap that silenced every doubt. The psychological impact cannot be overstated. This wasn't just a number on a timesheet. It was a glimpse of the driver and machine finally beginning to connect. But the most shocking part? This result has completely rewritten the championship battle in ways that go far beyond Friday practice times. The technical details reveal just how calculated Ferrari's approach was. They deliberately split their program. Hamilton focused on stability, Leclerc on top-end speed. Both solutions worked, and both produced elite pace. The long-run simulations on mediums and hards looked competitive too, with less graining than McLaren and more consistency than Red Bull. What makes this result so significant is the context. Baku demands everything from a driver: absolute trust in braking millimeter-perfect control through the castle walls, and bravery to attack the mammoth straights. For Hamilton to rise to the top against those demands in a car that has so often looked uncomfortable beneath him left not just fans, but even Ferrari insiders stunned. Meanwhile, the psychological warfare was immediate. For Leclerc, who has made Baku his kingdom with 4 consecutive pole positions, the shock was palpable. He's been Ferrari's benchmark here for years, yet his new teammate arrived and beat him on his strongest ground. That margin, 0.074 seconds, looks small on paper, but is massive in symbolism. The ripple effects extended throughout the paddock. McLaren endured a nightmare session with Norris clipping the wall at turn 4, breaking his suspension, and ending his session early. Piastri also kissed the barriers and ended up only 12th. Mercedes, with Russell and Antonelli, were consistent but nearly half a second adrift. Red Bull's Verstappen looked unsettled under braking and traction, leaving him visibly frustrated over team radio. And here's what nobody's talking about. This result has set up the most intriguing psychological battle we've seen all season. The implications go far beyond one practice session. Ferrari now have the flexibility to play both cards. One car set up to attack qualifying, another designed to thrive in the race. On a circuit where safety cars are almost guaranteed and pit strategy becomes a lottery, having both approaches validated gives them unprecedented strategic options. For Hamilton, this could be the weekend that finally makes his move to Maranello make sense. He's been carrying the weight of expectation and the burden of adapting to an alien machine. But in Baku, he showed glimpses of the driver who dominated the sport for years. For Leclerc, this represents the ultimate test. He's carried Ferrari on his shoulders for years, suffering heartbreak after heartbreak in Baku despite his qualifying dominance. To now be beaten here, even by the smallest margin, by his new teammate will sting deeply. But it could also light a fire that Ferrari desperately needs. The timing couldn't be more perfect. With McLaren scrambling to repair Norris's car and recalibrate their setups, Mercedes searching for that last half second, and Red Bull desperately trying to unlock speed from a package that looks uncomfortable, Ferrari are no longer the underdogs. They're the benchmark. The streets of Baku are unpredictable, but if FP2 was a sign of what's to come, Ferrari aren't here to survive. They're here to win. The question now is whether Hamilton can prove this wasn't a fluke, whether Leclerc can defend his Baku qualifying crown, and whether Ferrari can finally convert their pace into the victory that has eluded them. What do you think? Is this the weekend Ferrari finally puts it all together, or will Baku's unpredictable nature strike again? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more F1 analysis that goes beyond the headlines.